Well, hey there, fella. I just ate some mac and cheese, and now we're gonna talk about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. If you don't know this already, then you've probably been living under a rock, but this game has really bad reviews and has really cost Warner Bros. Like a lot of reputation and money. And so today I'm gonna be going into whether or not these reviews are accurate. Is the game worth buying, and is it really that bad? So we're gonna be covering the pros and cons of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and by the end of this video, I think you'll be a lot more comfortable making the decision of whether or not to purchase this, because right now I do believe it is like $2 in the game store. It's 95% off. At least last time I checked it was, and it seems to be going on sale every month or two. So without spoiling any of the story of the game, let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the game story itself. The game's premise is that Brainiac has conquered Metropolis and the Justice League is now under his mind control. All that's left for Earth's defense is the Suicide Squad. So Harley Quinn, Deathstroke, King Shark, and Captain Boomerang are left to their own devices under Amanda Waller's control to take down the Justice League, and the only way to stop them is to kill them. So that is a really awesome premise to the game, and that is definitely something that is like a really big drawing factor. As you may or may not know, this game is a continuation of the Arkhamverse, which is like Arkham Asylum, Arkham Origins, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, and this is the fourth installment. And so the neat thing that changes it up is that you're playing as the villains this time, and you can switch between them pretty easily, just in free roam around Metropolis. That's another thing. It takes place in Metropolis instead of Gotham. And Metropolis looks stunning. It is really cool, and it's open world, which I did not know when I bought this game. As a result of being given the option to play between the different four characters, you have the option to main a character, play specifically as them. My buddy Zach, he plays as Captain Boomerang always. I play as Deadshot always. Sometimes I'll switch it up and play as Harley Quinn, but I never play as King Shark because he's pretty, he's kind of lame, kind of boring. He's not the most fun character to play as. Each character has their different technique and different style of playing, different abilities, which are really cool. The abilities are really cool, I will give them that. Like with Deadshot, you have a jetpack and you can turbo around the city. It doesn't go super far, but it is a lot of fun once you get used to it. With Boomerang, you have this speed gauntlet where you throw your boomerang and you basically teleport, and you can also run at super speed with him for a brief moment of time before it recharges. All of these burst moves are limited in distance, but they do recharge quickly, and they're a lot of fun to get to use. Harley Quinn has a sort of Spider-Man feature where she attaches her grapple to a drone that hovers above her all the time, and she swings around like Spider-Man. She can also grapple to buildings like Batman in the Arkham games. And King Shark has a super ultra jump, and he can swim through the air. So those are really neat traversal quirks that they have that the Arkham games never had before. So those are really cool, and you just find the one that works best for you and the one that you enjoy the most. I've only got 2 pros left, so we need to hold on to them for dear life. The second to last pro is the cutscenes. The cutscenes are awesome. They are cinematic, they are funny, they are well written. Chef's kiss to the writers of these cutscenes. They are so good, but they're also a mixed bag because some of the cutscenes are just a little much, okay? They're a little much. There's cutscenes every mission, every corner you turn, there's gonna be a cutscene. So it gets to the point where it drives you a little bit crazy. But if you like games with cutscenes like I do, then it's great. But when you're trying to play online with friends who don't like cutscenes, it is really bothersome. So cutscenes are great, really fun watch for sure. My final pro is going to be in regards to the combat. The combat is really fun. It's really satisfying. It's really chaotic. It is just so much fun. Oh my gosh, I cannot get enough of it. It's a mix of melee, which you're encouraged to do a little bit of melee here and there. It's no Arkham melee, that's for sure. It doesn't live up to a lot of other games' version of melee fights, but it is in there and it is encouraged to do if you want to get your health back. And some enemies, you can only defeat them by doing melee stuff. There is long range, so every character has a gun or their little gimmick, right? So you can shoot people with a machine gun with King Shark or Harley Quinn, or a sniper rifle with Deadshot, all the combat in this game is really good. So let's move on to the cons. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with some instant turnoffs for a game when there is so many words on the screen, like all these numbers, all these arrows, all these words, all these tabs. That is an instant turnoff. Like there's too much stuff going on and so much stuff that doesn't even matter. Like all this customizable stuff for your gun, you never even see it. All these different gear things, that's like a thing that they had in the Avengers, which made it like really complex and just not worth like learning the game. The talent tree for your game, because a lot of games have talent trees where you upgrade stuff like characteristics for your player. All of this stuff is really boring. None of this stuff matters. You don't really notice any of it ever. Only like 3 of them are important, and it's the suicide strike upgrade, the traversal upgrade, and like your movement speed and duration upgrade. Those are the only things that count, really. I've never even used this tab, the social tab. Good luck finding someone to play with. And then the codex, every time you watch something, it just says you haven't watched it and it'll constantly show up as new, which always irks me. But anyway, I'm a big codex guy. I will go in and listen to all the tapes and stuff and listen to all the lore, because I guess I'm just kind of a big DC nerd like that. Let's move on. A huge place where this game falls flat is the repetitive gameplay. Every mission is a copy of the same mission and you do them 100 times each. It is so repetitive and it sucks. That is like, it's exactly where the Avengers game went wrong. You think they would have learned from that, but you can't just keep copy and pasting missions and expect people to have fun playing it. Like, this is supposed to be one of those games where you can play it for years and years, and it's just like an online game like Fortnite or whatever. That was a bad game to compare it to, because Fortnite's definitely better. But you get my gist. Like, this is something you can keep coming back to, but it's not really if you get tired of the same missions over and over again, right? And speaking of repetitiveness, the post-game content is all these Nexus events, and you're like, oh wow, look, that's an Arkham world, that's a different world, you know? All these really cool different multiverse versions of Metropolis. Everything is the same in each one. Every mission is the same. It's all the exact same, and it's forever, and it's all super repetitive. So that part stinks. Another con is that the layout of the screen is just really messy. There's so much going on, and you can't really tell what's going on. I've never once looked down at the bottom left corner of my screen or the little mini map on the right. The only thing that matters is the top left, your health. So I don't know, it's really messy. I don't know if this is really a con. I'm just kind of like complaining about it. Now, the next thing I'm gonna talk about, I've heard other people complain about, but it's not something that's really bothered me all that much, but it is something you should know before you buy the game. The villains that you face are mostly gonna be faceless, like zombie-looking brainiac goons, and I don't know, it's just kind of boring. They're all the same. There's nothing really different. Some of them have different abilities. Some of them are big. Some of them are fast. Some of them are invisible. But they're all just like gross-looking little mushy zombies. And I don't know. That's just kind of boring, I guess. Arkham had a lot of different villains that you could fight, but in this one, it's just these guys. So that's that. It's also worth mentioning that even when you turn the difficulty up, it's still incredibly easy. These games are easy. Sure, like in this clip right now, I am on the brink of death. My shield is running low, but it's still very easy. And if there's really not really any stakes, because even if you die, you have a certain amount of revives, and it's not like you have to be really, really bad at this game to run out of revives, okay? And now let's talk about the Justice League. This game had something really cool going for it. You were gonna fight and kill the Justice League. And, you know, it happened, sure, you get to do that, but the boss fights are so lame. They're so lame. The Green Lantern one is a lot of fun, I will say, because it's the most different. Then when you fight Batman, oh my gosh, it's so easy. I think they had the same boss fight in LEGO DC Supervillains with one of the characters. It's so easy. And Superman, oh my goodness, it's about the same difficulty as fighting the Flash. They should have had a lot more, creativity when it came to this stuff, but they just didn't. And it was really underwhelming, to give it one word. It was underwhelming. So anyway, I don't know. I feel like there should just be a little bit more weight when it comes to this stuff, but the moments kind of fell flat whenever they die. It's just kind of like, okay. And they kind of crack a joke, and I don't know. Could have Probably worked a little bit more on the writing there, but I guess they greenlit it a little too quickly. This next part isn't really a spoiler because Rocksteady just like announced it and everything, and but it is gonna kind of ruin the experience if you listen to this part and you're really looking forward to the story of this game. So just skip ahead maybe 10 or 15 seconds. I'm gonna say it right now, okay? They retconned the entire story of this game. They were like, oh, that's not the actual Justice League. You didn't kill them. You just killed clones of them. The real Justice League is still alive. They just undid all the awesomeness of what the premise was. Like, sure, they didn't execute the game very well, but at least they had the premise going for them, and they just threw that out the window, okay? So that was really upsetting, especially when I got that spoiled for me. And I was like, oh, so I'm not killing Batman right now. I'm just killing a clone of Batman. It has no emotional weight to it. So that is really, really frustrating if you're all about the story. Alas, there is still good news on the horizon. There are, yes, Riddler trophies and challenges in this game. So if you're a fan of those in the Arkham games, well, this is an Arkham game too, so obviously it's gonna have the Riddler in it. It wouldn't be the Arkham verse if it didn't have the Riddler, right? Look at this. You got Riddler races, you got Riddler trophies, and you got those little things where you have to scan the right thing as a solution to his riddle. So that is also, that's a plus, okay? I didn't want to end on all cons, so let's go with the plus at the very end. Now, let's talk about, is this worth it? Is it worth it? If you haven't made up your mind yet, let's talk about that. If I had bought this game right when it came out for 70 bucks, 90 bucks, I don't know how much it was, an absurd amount of money, I would not be happy with this purchase. I would not be happy spending like that much money on this game. Frankly, I don't think it's worth that much. I think it's a crime that this is a next-gen console game. I actually sold my Xbox One, got an Xbox Series S, and then got this game for $2 because it was on sale for $2, okay? I only spent $2 on this game, and because I only spent $2, I'm happy with it, all right? I'll admit it, I kind of like playing this game, but if I did spend 60 bucks on it, I would probably be a little bit spiteful. But yes, no, it's a crime that it's a next-gen console game because there's nothing about this game that says next series or next generation because, you know, like, sure, the graphics are great, but I would rather play this on Xbox One than have to look into Harley Quinn's pores, right? The graphics don't have to be that good. And look how great the graphics are on her face and Boomerang's face. Like, sure, that is awesome, but I don't know. It's not necessary, and this should have been available on Xbox One. That's my opinion. So yeah, those are all of my thoughts on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So before you click out of this video, you should probably like it, right? And maybe even consider subscribing. You know what? Here's a wild one. What if you commented something down below? What are your thoughts on the game? But with that being said, thank you for watching. Stay silly, and I will stay silly as well.